phenomenon early on was the most famous economist of our era, Mίλτον Φρίντμαν. Fríedman believed in a radical vision of society in which profit and the market drive every aspect of life, from schools to healthcare, even the army. He called for abolishing all trade protections, deregulating all prices, and eviscerating government services. These ideas have always been tremendously unpopular, and understandably so. They cause waves of unemployment, send prices soaring, and make life more precarious for millions. Unable to advance their agenda democratically, Fríedman and his disciples were drawn to the power of shock.
The subject should be rudely awakened and immediately blindfolded and handcuffed. When arrested at this time, most subjects experience intense feelings of shock, insecurity, and psychological stress. The idea is to prevent the subject from relaxing and recovering from shock.
Fríedman understood that just as prisoners are softened up for interrogation by the shock of their capture, massive disasters could serve to soften us up for his radical free market crusade. He advised politicians that immediately after a crisis, they should push through all the painful policies at once before people could regain their footing. He called this method economic shock treatment. I call it the shock doctrine. Take a second look at the iconic events of our era, and behind many, you will find its logic at work. This is the secret history of the free market. It wasn't born in freedom and democracy. It was born in shock.
I must go. Don't cry. I must go. On the heavy road to Seoul, climbing the white and black thirsting hills to sell my innocence. Long ago, I left the smell of wheat and castor bean flowers for the 12 hours of daily darkness in the factories of Changwon. But we were many, and the bosses were few, and we struggled together to build a hard kind of dignity here. Their police and their jails could not break our solidarity, but now we are facing something new. The IMF and the WTO have come to cut us loose again from the home that we built here in the factory and the people that we found here in each other. They put me on a contract, and so I must go again. Don't cry, I must go. On the heavy road to Seoul, climbing the white and black thirsting hills to sell my innocence. Walking through the streets of Seoul at night, even I can almost believe. Almost believe in the fragile surface of prosperity made from concrete and flat screens. It would be easy to walk these streets and not notice the violence just beneath the surface, the slow, crushing poverty of the working poor, and the crisis that looms just ahead of us. Bai Del-ho spent his life in the factory. Over 2 decades, he built a family and a home and some dignity there. But when the IMF came to privatize the industry, he struck with his union And then they took away his job, his home, his bank account, and his children's future. On a Sunday morning in May, he set himself on fire in front of his factory gate. We have seen what the system has done in other countries, and we know what hunger looks like in the street. When we strike today, we are fighting for our lives, for our children's lives, for the lives of those who came before.
When the military came to power in 1976, they came to power basically with an IMF-style structural adjustment program.
Todos los ministros de economía de las dictaduras y de las dictaduras hasta hoy, incluyendo hoy mismo, son ministros de economía neoliberales, que responden a diagnósticos de la época y a propuestas sobre cómo debieran reorganizarse los países. El diagnóstico era que los estados no podían seguir recibiendo demandas de la sociedad y que las sociedades tenían que empezar a dirigir sus demandas al mercado, que es una forma sutil y académica de decir que hay que destruir los estados nacionales y que los problemas de la gente tenían que resolverse en el mercado, es decir, que se jodan.
Up until the sort of December crisis, or maybe a few months before, Argentina was the poster child of the IMF.
Grandes sectores de las clases medias vivieron muy felices con el dólar barato y viajaron por todo el mundo y consumían como en el primer mundo, mientras entre 10 y 12 millones de personas se caían de toda capacidad de consumo, de toda capacidad mínima de vida digna y decidieron no mirar, no conocer nada, ¿no? Desde el punto de vista más superficial, estos sectores medios que estaban tan beneficiados con la convertibilidad y con el neoliberalismo han descubierto que todo esto es una ilusión. Es decir, que esta posibilidad de subjetivarse